We are with Valérie Candeiller, VP Dacia Brand Marketing Communications. How are you, Valérie?
Good, thank you. Very happy to be with you today.
Thanks for joining us today. A few weeks ago, the company launched a campaign for Dacia Spring, Dacia's new range of electric vehicles. What is this campaign about, and what did you want to communicate with it?
Okay, so first of all, with Dacia Spring campaign, the message was quite clear and evident. It was dealing with the revolution for the electric market. And what we wanted to say is, we wanted to say to people that electric mobility is no longer a niche project, but now, in fact, we have Dacia Spring, which is the most affordable electric car in Europe. So it was really important for us to create a campaign explaining this revolution, explaining the way we democratize electric. It was a key point for us. And as a symbol, it was funny to do so. We chose to launch the campaign on March 20th, the first day of spring, just to say spring is coming. Of course, this is quite a reference to the spring, the season, also the name of the car. Of course, it was like an evidence, but also, as you may know, Game of Thrones. So many revolutions took place in springtime. So it was like really an evidence for us. And what I can add also is that the specificity of this campaign is that for the first time for Dacia, we launched at the same time online pre-orders in 15 countries. It was huge. It was really a tremendous event for us. It was like a big bang, in fact. You know, it was a big bang because it was a technical challenge also for us, but it's a successful story at the end or at the beginning, because in fact, this is just the beginning of something new for Dacia brand.
Some things should be accessible to everyone, says the ad made with Publicis Conseil. What did you decide to focus on accessibility?
The message exclusive for everyone is dealing with the notion of inclusivity. And this is clearly the DNA of Dacia brand. We began, as you may know the story of Dacia brand, we began with Logan. We made accessible a new car at a used price car. Sandero, which is a flagship model in Spain for Dacia brand for 8 years now, because we are in Spain, we are talking for Spanish people, and the best value for money for versatile car. And finally, Duster, the most affordable SUV. And now we have Spring, which is the most affordable electric car in Europe. So really this message, exclusive for everyone, means inclusivity, accessible for all. You have to keep in mind that electric cars are still expensive today and not really accessible to all households. So with Dacia Spring, we really focus on essential features. We focus on what customers really need. And this is a real game changer for Dacia brand, consistent with our DNA, which is the best value for money brand that constantly redefines the essentials. So it is a key point for me, this notion of inclusivity and accessible for all.
And how was it with Publicis?
So this is a long story. It has been a collective challenge, in fact. We have been working for Publicis for a long time now, with Publicis for a long time now. So we are accustomed to work together with a high capacity of adaptation because we are a very demanding client, I would say. So because the concept and the execution of the campaign took 2 months, in fact. 2 months, it's just little. Usually we need 8 almost 9 months to prepare and to create such a campaign. So really, it was a big challenge for Dacia employees, of course, for Dacia people, but also for Publicis. But with this specific launching, every people involved in the project was really focused on the objectives of the 20th of March, the first day of spring. It was like a deadline, a magic deadline. And we needed to launch the car, and every people was really focused on that. So it was a great experience with Publicis, of course, but with Dacia teams. It was really interesting to work in such a short period of time.
And with HubSpot agency, Dacia also teamed up with street artists whose art decorated the streets of several European cities. How was it?
Yes, we were talking just before of Publicis, but of course we have HubSpot agency also because we decided to organize a dedicated event to tease the launching of Spring on March 20th. Revolution usually takes place in the street, and we wanted to play with that. We wanted to be close to the people. We wanted to be in the street where people are living, where they have activities. So it was really important for us as a Dacia brand to be at the heart of the people. And so we decided to work with 5 young street artists, and they have decorated the streets of Paris, Madrid, Milan, and Bucharest. And we were not able to do so at the same time because of the COVID situation. And I have to admit that it has changed a lot our plans. But we tried to adapt. We adapted ourselves, and we succeeded. And we used their work, the work of these 5 young street artists, as a teaser on social platforms. And in the teaser broadcasted on March 18th, we didn't see the car, in fact. It was just a teaser. We were talking about the season only, the reference of spring, and that's it. And we were in the street, and we showed the street artist. And we play with the message, spring is coming. And in the final cut, we discover at the end, Dacia Spring, with the message, spring is coming, but for all. So it was an important teaser, an important sequence for us in the timeline of the launching, because to be simultaneously in different cities in Europe, for us it was useful to explain that Dacia Spring is a European car.
Okay, and people in these cities can also search 150 clean tags on the sidewalks. What do they have to do, and what do they get with each tag?
Yeah, we put a QR code on each clean tag, and it generated a direct link to local Dacia website so that people can find information relating to Dacia Spring. Its range, its modularity, its design, its dynamic performance, its main feature. People can find everything on the local website. So it was for us a funny, sustainable, and different way to access to product information, and above all, digital approach, and which is really key for Dacia, because Dacia wants really to push the cursor of the digitalization in terms of communication. But it was a key point for us, and it was a funny way to give information to people.
And what was the budget of this campaign, and on what channels can we see it?
Okay, it's funny because I always have the question about the budget, but we are not going to talk money together, And so mainly we have decided to do a digital campaign. So I'm not going to talk about budget, but maybe afterwards I'm going to give you some figures successful figures of the campaign. So this campaign has been created, really has been thought as a digital campaign on with many assets on social platforms, through many formats, on classic media TV, of course, print and OOH. But globally, what you have to keep in mind, and if I can give you some key figures, more than 29 million completed views on digital platforms and websites overall. So this is really a success for us. And in 10 days, we have reached more than 9,000 pre-orders, and today we have reached almost 13,000 pre-orders overall. So we can talk about a successful launch, quick and successful launch, and strong interest of the car, especially in Romania, which skyrocketed completely the targets of pre-orders. So really, there is a really interest for Dacia Spring, because I think this is something new on the electric market. And so people, I hope they have understood that. And we can change things with Dacia brand and with this new product.
So congratulations for this wonderful campaign.
Thank you.
And what are the company's goals for the next few months?
This is the I would say the challenge is still important for us. We have to move on. Simply, we have to move on. We have to remain in this positive business dynamic rhythm. And of course, advertising campaign are moving on in countries to keep on generating orders, of course, because we are here to do business, of course. And we have set up a spring waiting program. Each month, we have planned to keep the link with our customers by creating dedicated contents about spring. We are focusing on product features, range, charge, modularity, etc. And for example, we worked with Google to propose a virtual test drive on YouTube. And it's, again, another way of presenting the car, another digital way, innovative digital way. So this is a key point for us. And we have planned to create a dedicated and collaborative social platform on which people can give their feedbacks after a test drive with Spring. In fact, we organize, of course, test drive with journalists, but it was important for us to hear the people directly and to hear their voice regarding Dacia Spring, to have their feedback. So that's the reason why we have decided to create this digital platform. So it's an opportunity also for us to have contents, to have new, fresh, and authentic contents. And this is key in the communication plan of Dacia Spring. And of course, we have test drives in countries to discover the car. And the first deliveries will occur from September for the clients. So really, what I can say is that we feel very confident about Dacia Spring. It's a we have a word for that. It's a real game changer in the car market and for the people. And this is the main message we want to tell about Dacia brand. This is a brand which is really focused on what is essential for people and making, as I said before, things accessible for. And this is quite simple, in fact.
So thanks again for joining us today, Valérie. It was
I was happy to be with you and to share this experience with you, this experience of campaign.
Thanks a lot.